Okay, I'll start it off. Thank you everybody for coming. My name is Viktor Gavrielov. I'm the Assistant Dean for Careers and Technology and Tech Ventures. And I am super delighted to be joined by Margaret and Sammy from Prometheus. To kick us off, I just want to show you why we're here. There's a couple of different ways of building your experience in order to get competitive in the job market and to land that internship or job. Some of the things I recommend is doing class projects and showcasing them online. So CS32 is a really good class for that. Some entry-level courses also have projects you can post online. You can become a CSTA, very great thing to do here in the program, and also something that makes you really shine. Side projects, a common one, like maybe you have an idea you want to do on your own or with a team, put that on your resume or GitHub profile as well. That's also a really great thing to do. Join a campus organization like Full Stack at Brown or Hack at Brown to get involved and maybe build some projects and team through that avenue. Join hackathons. That's a really great way to really quick focused time, 24, 48 hours or something like that, to come up with something great like a prototype. And maybe you need to spend a little bit of time after that to finish it up, but the support you get in a hackathon is pretty awesome. Contribute to open source projects. If you have a favorite library or something like that, you can contribute to them on GitHub, and your commits will always forever be visible to your future employers. Today, though, we're here to hear from Prometheus, and this absolutely last but not least here, a really fantastic opportunity to work on projects, have real impact. We're going to have a lot of support on them, and we'll be able to really showcase them on your LinkedIn profile and resume as well. So I wanted to show you all the different ways, and today we're talking about Prometheus in particular. So I'd like to hand it over. I'll stop sharing my screen.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Victor. And really grateful to be taking up some of your time today. Hope everyone got some pizza before getting into this. I'm Margaret. I am the co-founder of Prometheus. And I am really pleased to introduce Sammy, our head of partnerships, who will go through why we're here providing this service to Brown students today. So really just taking the top of this meeting to thank you for your dedication to this space and really share more about the tech for good industry and how you can get involved in it. So without that, I will pass it over to Sammy for the demo.
Great. Thank you, Margaret. Hi, everyone. It's really nice to meet you and thank you for joining today. I'm really excited to tell you about Prometheus and how you can volunteer on a technology project. So what is Prometheus? Prometheus matches students and professionals to our trusted nonprofit partners to take on volunteer technology projects, allowing you to hone your technical skills while giving back to organizations in need. Once signing up for our platform, you can browse open technology projects by skills, so the tools and the languages that you might want to practice, project size, so time that you can dedicate to a project, causes or issues you're particularly passionate about. We work with nonprofits across the US who work on a variety of causes, from education reform to the environment. You can also search for projects by roles you might be interested in, such as a designer, a data analyst, or a full stack developer. And then you also see here, you'll be able to view the project objectives, including what the nonprofit is looking for and what those requirements are for each project. We support a wide array of technology projects, from website support, such as creating impact pages, our new landing pages for our nonprofit partners, workflow automations to help automate manual tasks or maybe integrate systems together, custom application projects, and then lastly, data and analytics to help our nonprofits measure their impact. These projects are incredibly impactful for the nonprofit, but also our volunteers. So as mentioned, these are all real-world projects that give you the opportunity to work with clients in a professional environment and apply skills learned from the classroom. They give you a chance to practice technical skills and essential soft skills while giving back to organizations in need. And lastly, these are all projects that you can put on your resume, and career building platforms like LinkedIn. We highly encourage our volunteers to highlight all of their hard work on these projects. And we also provide you with a referencing guide that can show you how to actually showcase a volunteer project. So here's a case study to show you an example of a Prometheus volunteer project. So this is with a partner of ours, Penta, who repurposes used prosthetic parts in the US and actually donates them to other countries. And Penta needed our help managing their inventory so that partner organizations could easily request parts and also see what was in stock. Before this project, Penta was just managing inventory requests over email and multiple spreadsheets, which you can imagine required a ton of back and forth and just time spent on logistics. So we worked with Penta to match them to a volunteer developer who replaced these old workflows with a new database that now housed Penta's inventory data in one place. And that developer also, as a part of this project, connected Airtable to the front-end platform software to really showcase this product inventory to external partners. So this project saved Penta a lot of valuable time and made it a lot easier for their partners to request these essential mobility restoring parts to individuals in need. And you can get started with Prometheus really in 3 easy steps: joining our network, find a project match, and then kick off the project. So let's start with the sign-up process. You can sign up for the Prometheus platform using Brown's unique sign-up link, and you'll be asked about project types, causes, and roles that you're interested in that will all feed into your profile. And then once you actually sign up, you'll see here where you can browse technology projects and filter those projects by that key criteria, such as skills, causes, project size, and project types. You'll also see here recommended projects based off of your completed profile. And you'll also receive project recommendation emails every time we publish a new project that we think you might be interested in. You'll see here to the right that you'll also be able to click into each project and view those project objectives and what those requirements are. And then once you find a project that you're interested in, you can apply to that right up here directly on our platform and schedule an interview where we determine if someone is a good fit in terms of skill set and availability. And then lastly, once you're matched to a project, you'll be paired with a Prometheus project manager who will provide support throughout the duration of the project. So our PMs offer a wide array of support. They schedule and attend all calls with the nonprofit, including that kickoff call. That kickoff call is really the time to get to know your nonprofit, ask any questions, review the scope of work. Our PMs also host weekly stand-ups with our volunteers where you'll dig into project resources and they'll manage task tracking. And then at the end of each project, we also offer a certificate of completion. And as mentioned, provide those resources on how to share your projects externally. So thank you again, everyone, for joining. I would love to open it up to any questions that you may have.
Yes. One thing I want to highlight here is that Prometheus really offers this high touch approach where literally somebody took the extensive effort to map out a specific project, understand the scope of it. So all you need to do is get and say like, okay, I'm ready, just work on it. You get support throughout it as well. And at the end of the day, you can really showcase that as well, both on LinkedIn and your resume. One question I have to maybe kick us off is how do I know as a student that I'm qualified to work on these projects?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Margaret, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, absolutely. So we get this question a lot, and I think the reality is just apply. In our process, once you're ready to start a project, we do an intake interview with you. So that's where we'll be able to walk you through all of those requirements that Viktor was mentioning, that's scoped out, make sure that you're comfortable with it and actually get started before working with the nonprofit. The things that we do to make sure that you're prepared for working directly with a client is, one, do you have the availability to take on a project? And two, are you willing to learn new things? Just because you might not have familiarity with the stack that is being used on the project doesn't mean you shouldn't take it on. These are opportunities to learn those new skills or potentially hone them. If you've learned them in a class setting or on a side project, you can definitely take that on and apply them directly to this project. So just keep in mind that during the course of the project, you will be paired with a project manager that has knowledge of that stack and is there to help you and make sure that it goes successfully.
Does this interview, the intake interview, does that entail any like coding exercises or anything like that? What do I expect?
No, it is really a informational interview. So when you select apply, that the button that Sammy was showing on one of those last slides, it'll go through some basic information about your experience, both with the stack as well as your availability. From there, the questions that one of the project managers will go through with you, and that might even be myself, I might actually conduct that interview with you, is getting through your experience. And so that is all conversational and nothing to prepare for ahead of time.
Thank you, thank you. That's nice. I don't have to worry about lead code for you folks. Great.
No,
Awesome.
you don't. No. But you will have to provide a resume. So something that I will call out to all students, if you don't have a resume that's up to date, we do require that as part of the application process. So make sure that you have that ready to go before you hit apply.
Great. Questions from the audience? We have one question, yeah.
How long do the projects usually last?
How long do the projects usually last?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, go
sorry.
ahead, Sammy.
Right now, on average, they're around 12 weeks, but you can actually search for a project size. So if you are interested for a smaller project, right, anything along 1 week, maybe something medium that's 1 to 4 weeks, you can do so like that as well.
Nice. And how many hours per week should we dedicate to this if we are in like a 12-week project? What do you think?
Yeah. So we don't actually require a certain number of hours per week. So that's really up to the volunteer as long as they're able to get those tasks done that we track on those weekly stand-ups.
Cool. Yeah, another question right here.
How much in advance, like, do we apply to each project? Like, is it like you apply and then something starts? Or
Question is, how much in advance do I apply for each of the project? Or is it just like a one single application and then I'm gonna be matched whenever a new one comes up?
Yeah, so these are all live projects, and we're accepting them on a rolling basis from the nonprofit side. So we definitely encourage that if you're interested in a project that you apply, we match on a first come basis.
And do you apply multiple times or just once?
You just apply one to one project.
Oh, you apply to one project, but like, what about the intake interview? Is it like a new intake interview every time?
No, it's actually one interview, correct,
The
Margaret?
one intake interview, you're in the system in Prometheus and you can forever browse projects that you find interesting. And then when you find one that's interesting, you just click on that to apply to work on that one. But you don't have to go through any sort of like new technical interviews or any sort of like that.
No,
Is that
so
right?
yeah, so each project definitely apply to as many as you find interesting. We do only allow for individuals to take on one project at a time. So if you get matched to a project and are working on it, you're not going to be overloaded by being matched to 4 projects at one time. However, you can apply to as many or just one if you'd like. For each project, you can kind of think of it as an individual process per project. So you apply, you do the interview. If you apply for another project, you'll do an interview for that project. But again, they're not technical interviews, they're informational interviews regarding each individual project.
Perfect. Did I answer your question? Good. Who else? Yeah.
I had a question. Is Prometheus only for students in college, or when we graduate, still sign up?
Did you hear that question?
Yeah, I did. And you can, this is something that you can take with you when you graduate as well. Our volunteer network also includes professionals at other companies or individuals after graduation that are really just looking for ways to get involved and build community as well. So all that to say is you can definitely participate now or once you graduate as well.
Mhm. Good questions. All right, so we have one in the chat right here. It says, hey, I'm sorry, I'm a bit confused. Could you repeat whether we can A, apply to multiple projects and choose just one, or B, apply to only one project at a time?
A. So
A.
yes, yeah.
Mm.
We will not
Like-
prevent you from applying to as many projects as you'd like.
Yeah, so apply to multiple projects and choose just one. All right, perfect. Thank you for the question in the chat, appreciate it. We do have a couple of folks online, so feel free to chime another question in here as well. I have one right now. Did you ever have like somebody from Brown sign up actually before?
Yeah, well, we have a thread going on right now where we see new user signups, and it looks like from the start of this meeting, we've had 15 Brown EDU emails sign up. So I think people are clicking this button at the bottom here.
Yes, definitely we're seeing that live. And previously, did you have anybody matched to a project from Brown already?
Yeah, we had a student at the start of the summer work on a design project for a website just to write kind of this gap between their internship and when their internship started and when classes ended as well. So something good to think about for those spaces.
Mm-hmm. Who else will have like to ask a question? Yeah.
So this runs throughout the whole year. You can also do part-time hourly here, like during the academic year or also in the summer.
Yeah, I'll repeat the question. So are these all throughout the year in a part-time fashion that you can do alongside school or perhaps even your summer internship
Full-time.
or full-time summer internship? So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They're modeled so that these are part-time. So any hours that you're able to dedicate during the week, whether that's during the school year or during your breaks, we are always publishing new projects, making them available to you. So as Sammy mentioned, they're made available on a regular basis. So if you're not ready to take on a project right now because you're figuring out your classes and what your bandwidth is going to be, but want to come back in November when you're getting ready for a winter break or a J term, you can always do that, sign in and see new projects at that point in time. They'll always be available.
Thank you. Who else?
I have a question.
Yeah.
When matching like students to nonprofits, do Prometheus have the main say in it, or do profits off of it?
The question was, sorry, I'll repeat it for everybody in the back right now. So does Prometheus have to say on whether a student gets matched to a project or the nonprofit as well, or who gets to decide?
Prometheus is the main decision maker on that it's a right match. We pass along the referral to the nonprofit partner and get their approval. So the process is a bit twofold. Once we know that it's a good fit and a good match, we'll recommend that to the nonprofit and they'll give their stamp of approval before we kick off the project.
Awesome. Great questions. Who else? Okay, I want to recap, so for me, when I was a student here at Brown, I was like, I just can't think of a problem that I'm thinking of creating a side project for and spending a couple hours a week for. And so having a platform like this where I can go and browse existing problems that are scoped out is, I think, really, really awesome. And then just knowing that I'll have an impact on a specific nonprofit right now that has a specific need that has a real impact is also really, really cool. So yeah, I'm excited about this partnership. I'm glad that students are already scanning and signing up. And I will say, last call for questions. Yes,
Do you guys have any other future events planned for this semester or?
who is Prometheus?
Yes, yeah.
So do you have any events planned for this semester? So like between Brown and Prometheus, we don't. What's something that you would like to see though, when you're thinking about that? Like specific projects to look at or? Yeah, okay, I would say like first projects, go ahead on the website and take a deeper look. But I'm sure that like maybe if you wanna have like a conversation with somebody at Prometheus, to just like after application, just like to look at the different projects that exist, that might be useful. Right, Sammy and Margaret, I think that's probably something we can do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll provide my personal email in the chat as well. And Victor, you can send it along for everyone in the room so that if you just want to have further conversations or questions, you can just reach out.
Thank you, that's awesome. Did that answer your question? Okay, cool. Who else? I think I saw maybe one more hand up. Or like a hesitation. Okay, so it's Margaret@joinprometheus.org. I'll just put it into the slide right here. Check box here, yes, okay. Awesome. Thank you, Margaret, for providing that. Okay,
Yes.
thank you so much, everybody, for coming. Thank you, Margaret and Sammy. Appreciate your time as well. I'll be following up, sending the recording out to the students. Anything else you want me to do?
No, that's great. Think you have the deck and all of this information. Yeah, and I think just a reminder to everyone, what these projects also provide is connection to these nonprofit organizations. So not only will you be working with a technical project manager that's there to support you from Prometheus, you will be getting to work with leadership at these companies that are going to implement your solutions. And so I think it's a great opportunity to also build your network and get more connected to the causes that you care or you're committed to as well.
Perfect. I like that a lot. Thank you. I'll stop sharing, stop recording. Thank you so much.